The boy from the forgotten coast, the Atlantic Ocean, roared every night along the old Portuguese town of Valmerza Place, where fishermen lived harder lives than the storms they battled. In one small wooden house at the far edge of the coast lived a 17-year-old boy named Aiden Cruz, a boy who felt like the world had forgotten him long before he ever learned to dream. Aiden was not like other boys. While others played football on the beach or raced bicycles down the steep hill, Aiden spent most of his time sitting alone, staring at the horizon, wondering why he was born with legs that could barely keep up with a jog. Doctors told him repeatedly, greater than, you can walk, but you cannot run like normal athletes. Your left leg is weaker. Don't expect miracles. But deep inside his chest, Aiden felt a fire so stubborn that even the Atlantic winds could not blow it away. He had only two things in this world: his mother, who raised him alone, working to cleaning jobs, a dream to one day run like the wind he watched every day, but life had a strange way of reminding him who he was. People laughed at him. Kids mocked him for limping. Coaches ignored him when he tried to join the school track team. Even teachers told him to choose realistic goals. Yet, every time someone told him he couldn't, Aiden quietly whispered to himself, one day, I will. A dream buried under pain. Every morning, Aiden walked 3 kilometers to school. Not because he had no transport, though that was true, but because he secretly timed himself. He wanted to know if his steps were faster today than yesterday. Sometimes he felt improvement. Most days he felt nothing but pain. But what hurt more than his leg was the world's laughter. One afternoon, when he tried to join football practice, one boy shouted, hey look, the limping penguin wants to run. Everyone laughed. Even the coach smirked. Aiden walked off the field without saying a word. He went home, threw himself onto his bed, and stared at the old poster of Usain Bolt hung on his wall. He whispered, if I ever meet you, I will ask how you ran past everyone who doubted you. His mother, Lucia, sat beside him, gently brushing his hair. Aiden, she said softly, you may not be fast today, but you are not slow inside here. She tapped his chest. Aiden asked quietly, do you really think I can be an athlete? His mother smiled a painful smile, full of hope and fear. I think you can be anything, but you must fight harder than others. Your path is steep, Aiden, but steep paths lead to the highest views. Those words became his oxygen. The night everything changed. One winter evening, Aiden came home to find his mother collapsed on the kitchen floor. His heart almost stopped. The doctors later explained, greater than, she has a critical heart condition. Surgery is needed immediately. The cost is euro 25,000. Euro 25,000. Aiden felt his world collapse. They barely had money for food. His mother cleaned houses for a living. There was no savings. No relatives. No miracles coming. But fate moves in strange ways. On the hospital wall, Aiden saw a poster, *** Europe, youth running KHMPO, NSHIP prize money, 25,000 euros, ***. His heart froze. Was this destiny challenging him, or mocking him? He knew the world would call him foolish for even considering it, but something in his chest whispered louder than ever, this is your moment. Aiden's silent war. Aiden did not tell anyone about his plan, not even his mother. Every day he left home at 4 a.m. telling her he had extra classes, but in reality, he trained alone at the abandoned Lighthouse Road where nobody could see him struggle. His training was brutal. He ran uphill until his legs trembled. He sprinted until his lungs burned. He dragged heavy buckets filled with sand to build strength. He tied weights to his ankles. He ran barefoot on the sharp rocks of the coast. He practiced breathing to increase stamina. He studied runners on YouTube videos late at night. Some nights he fell on the ground, screaming in pain. Some days he was too exhausted to even stand. His leg bled. His muscles tore. Shoes ripped open, but he kept going, because the thought of losing his mother hurt more than anything his legs could ever feel. He would repeat to himself, pain is temporary. My mother is forever. The first time he felt like a runner. 3 months passed. Aiden woke up one morning feeling strangely light. He tied his worn-out shoes, stepped outside into the cold dawn, and began running. But this time, there was no limp. No imbalance. No hesitation. He ran not perfectly, but powerfully. The wind didn't push him back, it wrapped around him, almost lifting him. For the first time in his life, Aiden Cruz felt like a real runner. He stopped at the cliffside and looked down at his trembling hands. Mom, he whispered, I'm getting closer. The world laughs, but destiny watches. When Aiden went to register for the championship trials, athletes from across Europe were present, tall, muscular, trained by professionals. Aiden stood among them, wearing old shoes, cheap clothes, and a trembling heart. One boy from Germany laughed. Are you lost, kid? Another added, he looks like he came here to watch, not run. But Aiden kept his eyes forward. He remembered his mother's hand in the hospital. He remembered her weak smile. He remembered the fear of losing her. Mockery became quiet fuel in his chest. The trials that shocked everyone. The qualification race began. Aiden started slow, struggling to find rhythm. Spectators were already whispering, He won't finish, he's too weak. Why is he even here? But at the 200-meter mark, Aiden's training took over. He leaned forward. His arms cut the air, his legs moved. Like they belonged to someone else. He passed 2 runners, then 4, then 6. The crowd gasped. The final stretch came 80 meters left and Aiden sprinted like a hurricane had taken over his body. He crossed the finish line in second place, qualifying for the finals. Silence swallowed the stadium. One coach murmured, "Where did this boy come from?" Aiden stood, panting, sweating, trembling. But inside, he was on fire. He whispered, "Mom, we're one step closer." The night before the finals, Aiden visited his mother in the hospital. She was weaker than before, her breathing shallow. "Mom," Aiden said softly, "I'm running tomorrow." She smiled faintly. "I know. I saw your shoes. They're worn out from all the lies about extra classes." Aiden froze. She knew everything. "Aiden," she whispered, "you don't have to win anything. I just want you safe." But Aiden held her hand firmly. "I will win, Mom. Not for glory, not for a trophy, but because your life is worth more than my fear." A tear slipped down her cheek. "Aiden, run with your heart." The day Destiny chose his winner, the stadium was packed. Flags from 18 countries waved in the wind. Cameras pointed at the young athletes. Aiden stood on track 7. His heart pounded. His legs felt heavy. For a moment, fear whispered, "You don't belong here." But then he closed his eyes and saw his mother, her weak smile, her tired hands, her soft voice telling him to run. He opened his eyes with fire. "I belong where my purpose takes me." The announcer shouted, "Runners, on your marks." Aiden bent down. Every heartbeat echoed through his fingertips. Set, silence, go. The race that became legend, the world, exploded into motion. Every athlete sprinted with perfect form. Aiden started slow, much slower than everyone else. Whispers began immediately. "He's out already, he can't win, he's the weakest here." But Aiden did not panic. He waited and waited at the 150-meter mark. His training awakened inside him like lightning striking steel. He leaned forward. His arms moved like blades. His breathing synced, his mind cleared. And suddenly Aiden Cruz began to fly. Past the runner from France. Then Norway. Then Italy. Then Spain. The crowd rose to their feet. "Who is this boy?" someone screamed. At 50 meters left, Aiden was still behind 2 runners, the defending champions, but destiny had other plans. With every ounce of power left in his body, Aiden unleashed a sprint so explosive that even the commentators fell silent for 2 seconds. He passed one, then the other. The stadium roared like thunder. And Aiden crossed the finish line first. He fell to his knees, crying, unable to breathe, not from exhaustion, but from the weight of the moment. He had done it. The impossible, the unbelievable, unimaginable, a miracle purchased with pan. Award ceremony felt like a dream. Flashlights. Cheers. Interviewers. Reporters screaming his name, but Aiden didn't care about fame. He took the 25,000 euros prize envelope and ran straight to the hospital. "Where is my mother?" he asked breathlessly. They led him to her room. She was sleeping peacefully. Aiden handed the money to the doctor. "Do the surgery. Do it now. Save her." The doctor nodded. "I promise we will." Aiden kissed his mother's forehead. "Mom, I outran my destiny. A new life begins." The surgery was successful. His mother woke up with tears in her eyes as Aiden sat beside her. "You saved me," she whispered. Aiden smiled softly. "No, Mom. You gave me the reason that turned a broken boy into a champion." News channels flooded with his story. Brands offered sponsorship. Schools invited him for motivational talks. He was selected for the national team, but Aiden remained humble because he knew his victory was not in running the fastest, but in refusing to stop.